So there are 4 known states of consciousness. So the first one is when you're awake. And that we know it very well. We know how we relate to things. We see things, we talk to people, we hear things, we touch. All our senses are used. This is the state we're most familiar with. And the second state is the state of sleeping, right? You know that. You close your eyes, you go to sleep. The third stage is when you are in a dream, the dream state. And we'll go further into the dream state today. And the fourth that happens every single night is a state of nothing. It's called, in Sanskrit, it's called Turia. It's a state where your mind shuts down. You know nothing of it. In the morning when I ask you, did you sleep? You say, oh my God, I slept so well, right? All you know is that you entered into that state and you exited from that state. But you cannot recall a single thing that happened in that time period. All you remember from a night of sleep is the dream. When the mind was extremely alert. Okay. But those dream periods, the rapid eye movement, the REM period, you have 2 or 3 every night. And in that period, your body is not rested. Your body is not calm. You could be in the midst of a panic attack. Whatever is coming up, your body is now reacting to it. Your blood pressure is heightened, your eyelashes, your eyes will be moving. It's almost as if you're awake. And if I tap you, you'll wake up. You'll wake up. During the REM state, we're very close to the surface. We're very close to, except that we are lost in a dream. So, if you think about it, you're observing this dream. You are not in the dream. You're just observing the dream. Sometimes you will recognize yourself as being in the dream. And as you, the person, most often you're viewing something that's happening. You're viewing something that's happening and you remember it the way you have memories. If I ask you to recall your dream, it's usually in like slim photographs, like a photographic memory. A memory here, a snapshot here. I was falling off the cliff. I was sitting. The dreams that we usually remember, the ones we're falling down from a cliff, falling out of a plane, falling off the bed, not prepared for an exam. These are very familiar dreams. Somebody chasing us.
Anxiety dreams.
Yeah, anxiety. They're fear-filled dreams, right? And when you are in that dream state, you are no longer yourself. You are the dream person, right? You're no longer this person you recognize in your daily life as someone who is accessing everything rationally. And once the dream is over, and it may be a very anxious dream, and you wake up and you say, oh my God, thank God it was a dream. Yeah. Thank God it was a dream. What if your life were a dream?
Yeah.
And I'm asking you to wake up. How would that be? What if all of this that you're viewing, that you're seeing around you, is another state, a dreaming state? And it's not real. But you can argue with me saying, of course it's real. It's real. I see this, I see the paintings, I see the table, I see the chair, I see everything. But your dream was real too. As long as you were in the dream, it was as real as being awake. Yet you had that ability because you moved into another state. You had that ability to say, That's just a dream. I don't need to worry about it so much. Nothing is going to happen. So, what is it? What is it that comes out in our dreams? Every day, all day, these impressions, these things are coming in through your senses. You're watching TV, you're talking to people, you're interacting with life. Somebody is born, someone dies, you get a job, you lose a job, you have money, you don't have money, you're thin, you're fat, you have these thoughts going on. A sister said something, a mother said something, I wish I had more time for this, more. So much, right? All day, every day, all day. Where do you think that is going? That is going inside. It's being drawn in, drawn in. And some of it that comes in, we feel anxious about. We feel, oh my God. And then the emotion is rising. You're feeling hurt, you're feeling angry, you're feeling anxious, you're feeling disgusted, you're feeling miserable. The more the emotion, the stronger the impression. So when a thought meets an emotion, it creates an impression. And this impression gets embedded into our subconscious, not in our working memory, not in our day-to-day life. Today, tomorrow, we're talking, we're happily talking. What happened to you as a child? Somebody may have attacked you in a lift, in an elevator. Somebody may have followed you. Some uncle may have acted inappropriately. These things you don't even want to think about. They were painful. They were extremely painful to begin with. You had the death of a very close family member. That's painful, and you don't want to look at it in the face. So what do? You bury it. You push it deep down as you can. You don't want to look at it in the face. But it won't stay there forever. At night, when your guard is off, these fears that you have created for yourself, they come up like little bubbles. They come up, little bubbles bursting. And you'll see people that some of whom you recognize and some of whom you don't. Why? Because the mind cannot differentiate between real people and who you see on TV. What you're watching on TV, what you're watching on social media, the news you're listening to, the stories that you're reading on the news, things that make you frightened for your life, worry about survival, wonder how you're going to make it. These things create these impressions, and this is exactly karma. Karma is a collection of impressions that get embedded and then they open up at different times. They open up at different times in your life, and you experience the effects of not dealing in a healthy fashion with your own situations. It's not your fault. It's not anybody's fault. It is human nature to close down everything that's painful. It is human nature. This is what makes us emotionally intelligent creatures. We understand that looking at this pain, this death of a loved one, something is too much. So we push that down. We push that all down. And that's how you survive. That's how you manage your life. But it's not the way to do it. You have to, at some point, look at it in the face and see what it is. Nothing other than a thought in your head. What is this fear that you have? These dreams that keep repeating themselves. That I'm going to fall sick and I'm going to die. You may have heard that a friend, developed some heart disease. Immediately, you're checking for symptoms to see, do I have that? Yesterday when I was walking, my heart was beating a little fast. Maybe I shouldn't walk that much. Maybe I should walk a little bit less. we create fears for ourselves, and a fear is nothing other than a thought about something that may not happen. Just think about it. A fear is nothing other than a thought about something that may not happen. And these fears and anxieties are real. They create problems for you. Your heart rate goes up. Your blood pressure, and this happens when you sleep. If you were connected to, they do sleep studies and all of that. If they connected you, they'll know the REM state immediately because of an elevated blood pressure and an elevated heart rate. Some cortisol is pumped into your system as if you're ready to deal with some terrible emergency, because there is an emergency in your situation. You are in Paris and you are being attacked by a man with a knife. This is horrible. Now, did you see the man with the knife really in this life? Was it from a previous life? Was it from a movie you saw? Right? It could be anything. It could be anything. You don't know. That's why I always say, in all my talks, just keep your life simple. Keep your life simple. Don't watch things that upset you. Don't be around people that upset you. Don't create for yourself situations that upset you. Pull away. It's okay to push away cancers in your life. People that do nothing for your spiritual growth. You must surround yourself with people that nurture you, that love you. When you go to sleep at night, you must go to sleep with that feeling that, everything is just perfect. Life is so good. Don't watch a scary show last thing at night, or read a book that's just like agitating and that something horrible is happening in the book. Because even when you're reading a book, books may be calming. You're creating the stories in your head, you see. You're seeing it all in your mind's eye. And especially when you do an SVU type of show, when you've got young daughters, you always worry, oh my God, what if that happens to me? But that is such a silly thought. Why worry about something happening to you if it is not happening now? Do you see that? It's just a story in your head. It's not real. It might have never happened. It might never take place. Just like that dream, you might wake up from it and say, why was I so scared? It happens, right? Sometimes I remember I went on, what is that called? Skydive, not skydive. When you go up and you're attached to a plane and it's parasail. Okay, I'm not a very brave person, and I was like terrified. And they put that on, and then you go up and you're just lifted by the wind, and it's like you're floating over the ocean, and you're like a bird, and you're watching all this, and then you come down and you go into the soft sand and nothing happens. You wonder, I was so scared. What was that all about? A fear is nothing other than one more thought in your head. And if you're having scary dreams, it's because you're not preparing yourself well for sleep, and because you have not taken the time to deal with your trauma. So preparing yourself is the first thing that you do. You don't watch TV in your bed. Your bed is for sleeping. You create in your room a place that's comfortable, clean, and conducive to sleep, something nice. The lights must be dimmed. Put some nice cream on your hands and face, Hamsa Botanicals preferably. Put something nice on your hands and feet. Watch a nice a video about something that's uplifting, or listen to some music something soft and calming. You know, don't do things that agitate you just before sleeping. Leave that for about an hour before, an hour and a half before sleeping. So if you have to stop watching TV, stop at least an hour before. Because you want to give yourself time to get into that state of mind where you say, life is good, and then you drift into a sleep. The problem with us is till the last minute we're answering text messages. Oh, ding, okay. And then ding, another ding, okay. You see, you're breaking everything for yourself. And if that last text message before sleeping is not a good one, then your sleep is affected. And then all the stuff is going to come up. There is another thing that happens when you sleep. You see, when you sleep, I'll explain this in future talks, but imagine that your mind is like a little box or a bubble around you. And it's got little holes, just like your skin, right? A little pores on it. And then when you relax the mind, or when the mind stops working, it expands. It expands. And when it expands, the holes get a little bit bigger. So thoughts of other people also enter into your consciousness. So what you might be seeing need not necessarily be your own personal thoughts. They could be your husband's, if he's sleeping next to you, or your boyfriend's, as the case may be. This is one of the strange things that happens that, when you dream. That's why it's important to recognize that it's only a dream and not pay too much attention. And I really tell you that use that same philosophy to your life. Think of it as a dream. All these fears, all these anxieties, all these worries that you have, they're only thoughts in your head. What's a thought? It comes, it goes. Can you even find a thought? Can you find the spot in your brain where that thought is embedded? Do you know where that particular memory rests? No. Don't give it so much importance. Life is to be enjoyed. You have to feel that happiness, that joy all the time. Happiness is your birthright. So if something is preventing you from being happy, get to the source. How do you get to the source? Why do I keep saying breathing and meditation, breathing and meditation? I say it again and again and again. Because that's the only thing that goes below the surface. Because you're not working with a conscious mind. You're not working with a mind that you think you're dictating. Now you're in a realm where you don't understand anything. And many times after you meditate, you'll think about a person and that person will call you. Things get better. Creative ideas come as you keep meditating, as you keep breathing, as you keep meditating. These fears get released. These fears get released. And if I remember, one of the best meditations I did was the death meditation, which I did with Sri Ravi Shankar. And it was scary as hell. It was scary to be familiar with your exhale. Familiar with the exhale as being the last thing you'll ever do on this earth. And many people got panic attacks when they came to that spot. But sometimes when you come up close to your fears, you realize there's nothing, there's only here and now. Why are we thinking of something that's going to happen to you only once in your life? You will only die once, I promise you. But you live every day. You live every single day. Should you not just pay attention to this and let this grow and let this be beautiful? Let your dreams be dreams. They don't matter. Let your life be a dream. That also doesn't matter.